make it back to each other when no one's around. The crowd between me and you, who wants to fuck with us now? We are your best needles. Everyone in the crowd between me and you. You fall in love with the sound. Make it back to each other when no one's around. The crowd between me and you, who wants to fuck with us now? We are your pins of needles. Welcome to another episode of the apocalypse. And since you have unwisely chosen the apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. I am that guide, your humble, bloody guide, Nicholas. Take my hand, and I will guide you through the apocalypse, just as Dante was guided through hell. For we are in it now, unfortunately. Thanks, Rubes. Well, bloated and fat and disgusting. Donnie, they weren't asking about your appearance. They were asking about cuts to the budget. As usual, Donnie was projecting in his answer. Sounded more like he was describing himself. That was the first thing that came to mind when I heard the phrase, bloated and fat and disgusting. Donnie came up immediately, and then Leon popped into my head. Also, Trump Gaza, money raining from the heavens upon Palestine. If you believe that, I have some beachfront property in Kansas for the low price of $1 million an acre, minimum 30 acres. No money will rain from the heavens, and if it did, it would all end up in Donnie's pocket, or BB's pocket, or Jared's pocket, etc. How's that Palestinian protest vote going for you? We warned you that Donnie was best friends with BB. You did not listen. Your spite drove you to throw your own corpse into the bloody abyss. And in the process, you threw all the rest of us in the abyss as well. Well done. Your cause is over. The Palestinians will be removed. And Trump Gaza, with BB and Donnie lounging on the pool deck in all their horrid naked glory. It seems all of you should have chosen the Black Lady. You would have all still had your jobs. You wouldn't have to worry about the apocalypse. And there would be no Trump Gaza with 30-foot abominable idols to Donny shitbags. Anyway, let's begin because I'm way behind schedule here. Hard to keep up with all the evil, and they don't have a lot of time, you know what I'm saying? Because we're already at the lake. They just don't know it yet. None of you know it yet. I do. It's already done. Already over. Anyway, Romania. It's good to see they said, fuck this shit. We're not just going to let Russian shills take over, heavily financed by Russia. We are going to stop this bullshit. We're going to investigate it. We're not just going to let our country go like Americans did. And again, I can't blame all Americans here. Please don't ever get me wrong if in my rants, it sounds like I'm lumping every American together, because I certainly am not. The current Reich, the current Nazi movement, that's an extreme minority movement. Donnie did not even get 50% of the voting numbers. The populace that voted, he didn't even get 50% of that. So it's an extreme minority movement. And because slave states wanted rights, more rights than the rest of the states, we have this thing called the Electoral College. That's really what it was for. So in an extreme minority movement, worthless waste of oxygen, all destined for the lake, when that comes along, that has a chance of winning, because in America, the only way a loser can win is the Electoral College. You know, losers like Bush Jr., Donnie Shitbags, only way they can win. Funny enough, the only popular vote he ever won was against Kamala in this race, which ushered in the apocalypse or the rest of the tribulation. That was on pause while Joe Biden, the righteous man, was in office. Anyway, our country's over. Forget that. Fuck that noise. Forget that story. America's done. It's now New Rome with a fat, bloated Caesar, an orange face, and a diaper full of shit. But let's read this. The Elon Musk-backed pro-Russian candidate in Romania, Călin Georgescu, has been arrested. Authorities raided him like the crook he is and found at least 10 million in cash and tickets to Moscow. He may have also bumped his head a little bit too. I mean, these are straight up Russian assets in South Korea, in Romania, in Germany, in America. There's been Russian assets for at least the last 10, 15, if not 20 years, worming their way to the top. Heavily financed, heavily shrouded in bots and troll farms that make it look like it's a popular movement. Someone made a great point that after this bust happened, there were not protests on the street for this Georgescu person. You know why? Because there's no real support for that Georgescu person. It's all bots, trolls, and Russian financing. Just like libs of TikTok, just like all these other things. Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, Donnie Shitbags, he's been a Russian asset since the 80s. Donnie Krasnov, we all know the story. Vlad decided to let it out now to laugh in all of our faces. Now that he has our country, he decided to let us all know and embarrass Donnie and let us know that he's been a Russian asset since, what, 87? Remember, Donnie ran out of money. So as this story developed throughout the day, I don't even think the guy was actually arrested. I think he was questioned, and they found all this other stuff with associates of his, and realized, okay, this is a heavily financed Russian movement trying to take over our country. I'm so happy to see Romania is taking this seriously, and they getting rid of the trash. Vlad's trash. Good for them. Keep the heat up. Keep it going, because you don't want to end up like America, which is over, by the way. I don't know if you know that. And again, with Romania, finally, one Western nation is acting to root out Russian interference. I mean, it's a straight up conspiracy. I wouldn't even call it interference. They're trying to literally take over countries using rules and non-rules, whatever they can do, whatever they can think of, to where they don't end up in prison, even though some of them are. It looks like that's where they're going. Literal, coups. That's what I would call them. I wouldn't call it interference anymore. And I would call Donnie's work with the Russians since '87 a straight up conspiracy, not collusion, all that bullshit. These lovely words the rubes love to throw around. And by rubes, I even mean the people fucking arresting, charging them, everything. They pussyfooted around everything. Just call it what it is, man. It's a conspiracy. Donnie Shitbags in 2015, was it? Said, Russia, if you're listening, release the rest of the emails. That is a direct communication to a foreign government in front of all of our fucking faces to help him win an election. Jail should have happened the next day. And we wouldn't have had to live any of this nightmare. If you're going to get on television and ask a foreign government to help you, that is a direct communication, in my opinion. That is a conspiracy. Especially when the shit did come out shortly after he said that. Obvious conspiracy. He should have been in the fucking prison cell the next day or not allowed to run. But that's all water under the bridge. Our country's over. Let's finish reading this. Nationwide police raids in Romania this morning as investigations into pro-Russian candidate Georgescu reveal what we all knew, another puppet of the Putin regime. 10 million in cash at his bodyguard's house, trips back and forth to Moscow, all the usual. Why can't other nations get serious about Russians? I mean, they didn't even cover their tracks. That's how bold they've been with this in all of our countries. And we all just sat around and let it happen till we had to get to moments like this, where the person was about to take over the country. Thank God Romania is doing something now. But I mean, look how obvious there were tickets to fucking Moscow. There's fucking huge amounts of cash just laying the fuck around. They're this bold now. Donnie's this bold. Saying he's going to go hang out with Putin, or Putin's going to come here. Voting against Ukraine in the UN. All this, I mean, just straight up in our face. They're not hiding it. And they weren't hiding it before. We just let them off the hook. So, well done, Romania. Let's read more. Exclusive, the connections with Russia of the people guarding Kalin Georgescu, Horatiu Potra in Moscow at the Russian embassy, Marin Bersia's business partner, connections with Chechen leader Ramzan Kadyrov. I've heard that name before, and it's not good. Oh, and here's a picture of the money. I assume that's the actual money they seized. Breaking news, person dies of measles in West Texas, the first death from an outbreak that has infected at least 124 people in the state. And it's kind of crossed state lines now. And the thing is, well, I've been following this since the beginning. It started in an alleged Mennonite community of unvaccinated people. That's alleged, who knows where it really started. And it started with about 40 people or 30 some, and now it's up to 124. And now we've got someone that died of it. It appears it's just getting worse. The numbers are climbing. Do I think you should be panicking yet? No, but the numbers are climbing for fucking measles. I saw an article today too. Some mysterious fucking disease killed a bunch of people in Congo. 100 and some people, 50 died in a short proximity. This disease, from the time you get symptoms to the time you die, is 48 hours. They're not even sure what the fuck it is. Linked back to some villagers that allegedly ate a bat. We always get weird ass stories like this, and I don't know whether to believe them as far as the source. Yeah, villagers ate a bat, and now 50 people are dead. You know, little hard to believe. Maybe it is the source. Who the fuck knows? All I know is this crazy ass disease is going on over there. And they don't know what the fuck it is. And that's just one. Not to mention the Ebola thing I'm going to get to shortly. Oh my God. But let me stay on track here. Trump and Netanyahu on a date, half naked and by a pool, sitting very close. Trump posted this, MAGA voted for this. Okay, this was all AI generated. I found out after I posted the pictures of the Trump Gaza commercial today. I don't know if you saw that. I don't know how you couldn't see it. One of the most abominable, evil things I've ever seen put to a videotape like that, and something based in reality, not in a movie. That's not what I'm talking about. This thing, you could feel the evil coming out of this commercial. And this is one shot from it, I believe. And this is AI generated. So this would be Donnie and Bibi, I guess, chilling at the new resort that they did the nice long commercial for today, to put it all in the consciousness, to put it all out there, to desensitize us, to tell us what they're about to do. They keep doing this. They tell us what they're about to do over and over and over again. Like when Donnie says we're going to Fort Knox. And wouldn't it be funny if all the gold was missing? He keeps repeating this over and over again. Do you know why? He's conditioning you. So when it happens, it's not that shocking. And maybe there's some rule with these things that they have to tell us these things in advance. I don't know. I've heard philosophies and theories like that. I don't know if that's true. There does seem to be certain rules to this game between God, Satan, and Satan's children, and the whole thing. Things that are not allowed to do, like really lines in the sand they can't fucking cross. They know what they are, I don't. But again, this is AI generated because I doubt Bibi and Donnie would ever want a real picture of them with their shirts off out there. And here's a good question. When you look at the 87-foot Trump statue that was part of the Trump Gaza commercial, and why we have to have idols to Trump in all gold, in the form of balloons, in the form of giant statues, in the form of smaller statues. Why is that necessary, MAGA? Can you answer that question? Does that make sense to you? Do you even care? Of course you don't. They're Satan worshipers. That's an idol to Trump. He wants to be worshipped. That's where this is all going. He's going to ask you to worship him. And you'll do it because you're stupid. And that'll be the cost will be your eternal soul. And that's not a joke. It's not a metaphor. It's what's going to happen. It's written, son. And what's playing out before us was written. That's how I know it's going to happen. That's how I can predict things and it comes true. Because it was prophesied, not by me, by something much greater. And a man whose vision over 1,000 years ago is playing out literally before us. That's how I know the other predictions will come true. That's why I said this all ends in worship, and we're not even 2 months in, baby. And look what they're putting in your face. An 80-foot Trump statue in the middle of Gaza, the Holy Land, son. Is that logical to you? Have you seen other presidents do this type of shit ever in the history of this country? No, you have not, son. So this is something else, isn't it? Of course it is, when logically looked at. Stepping out of it, looking at it from the outside. This isn't fucking normal. AI-generated commercials of resorts in Gaza with money raining from the sky, with giant Trump statues all in gold. Maybe he'll start ruling from there. Did you ever think of that? I have. But then again, I know what this is. And this person, I rarely see someone that really has full understanding. This person seems to. I have no idea who they are. I've never seen them before. Anyway, Hey, Christians who voted for Trump, is this your king? If not, will you call him out? Repent for putting an antichrist in power? Oh, she used the phrase an antichrist. Oh, no, son. We always have used that for people in the past. Hitler, etc. Hitler was an antichrist. But Donnie shitbags with the gold statue in the Holy Land, that's the motherfucking Antichrist, not an Antichrist. So she has almost full understanding. Forgive me. Or is power all you care about? Now, indeed, your team winning, that's what that means. All you care about is your people being impacted, your team. They are not like you. They don't care about you. They hate your fucking guts. They laugh at you behind closed doors. You have gotten jack shit in the first month and a half. The rich have gotten a huge tax cut once again by the GOP. Happens every motherfucking time. Leon got 440 billion of your money. A bunch of you lost your jobs. No one got a check for jack shit. In fact, you losing money, homes. You have to, flee Congo because U.S. aid gets cut off and you're stuck there. And you've got 22-year-old cunts, shutting your payments down so you can get back home to America because they think it's funny. They're not going to think it's funny at the lake, son. Believe me. Those special little children, they are not going to think it's funny at the, oh my God, what have I done? Exactly, son. We're already there. Again, I already told you, you're all already dead. From the beginning, you were dead. It's all one moment. You were dead before you were born. Isn't that a crazy concept? But it's so true. They talk about the book of life. Some names are written in it. Some are not. So yeah, you're going to repent for putting the Antichrist in power. I'll change it to the Antichrist. That's the level or that's the magnitude of what you have done. That's why I've been screaming for 8 years. This is life and death here. You have no idea where this is going. To an utterly evil place. You best prepare for it. Be ye rube or not. Mentally, spiritually, physically, it's going to be the hardest time in all of our lives. It's the most important moment of our lives, right fucking now and the next few years. There's a phrase called gird your loins in scripture all over the place. Gird your motherfucking loins, son. You see what I'm showing you? You hear what I'm saying to you? All you cunts over the years pointing at this person, that person, this person, that person, because you didn't like them. They the Antichrist? Nope. There you go. You want to know who it is? All the jerk-offs that study scripture all the time? That's who it is. Who else would want to be worshipped like this? So again, I ask, are you going to repent for putting your name on the Antichrist and putting him in power? That's one of the things I've been trying to say. They said it better. Are you going to do that? Nah. You think you're wise. I know. At the troll farm. I know you think you're wise. There's a lake that begs to differ, son. Okay, here we go. H5N1D1.1 virus in cattle and Wyoming human have worrying mutations suggesting human adaptation. I've been worried about this bird flu. We always have bird flu, but for some reason it ramped up right when Donnie took over. It ramped up when he took over in 2016 too. Almost as if the plagues get worse when you put your name on the Antichrist and we all put him in power. Well, not we all, you all. Y'all. I guess I should use, right? When y'all put him in power, the shit gets ramped back up again. These are going to get worse and worse. Remember what the story says, 1/3 of the animals, 1/3 of the land, 1/3 of the waters. That's definitely happened over time, but it's going to be a more targeted, short time frame this time. Something I've noticed, I've been down here for years now in a land I'm not from, and the trees always look beautiful. They look beautiful because there's all kind of sprinkler systems and rains a lot here. Because I know in other areas the trees haven't been looking beautiful. Northern California, for instance. From the time Donnie took over till now, it looks like all the trees are dying. I'm seeing men going around to all the trees and hammering things on them and tape measures around them and things getting cut down. Within like a month and a half, hardly any rain at all. And this is the drier season, so, you know, what I'm trying to say to you is all the trees I look around, they don't look right anymore. Like something devastating has happened to them in a short amount of time. They looked great before. They were fine. It's just something I noticed down here. These trees have never looked like this down here since I've been here. Anyway, let me finish this. We now have both D701N and E627K mutations in viruses circulating in the US. Bird flu is coming our way. Subunit mutations are required for H5N1 bird flu to become a human pandemic. They allow replication, efficiency, pathogenicity in mice. And they listed two kinds here, PB2, E627K, and D701N. Or that might be three, actually. I'm not sure. Does it matter? In other words, people are keeping an eye on the bird flu because they're seeing disturbing things where it seems like it wants to make a jump to human type contagion. And they're starting to see the signs that it's doing that. If it does that, that's not good for us. That's what they're watching. That's why this is important, what I just read to you. This is interesting. I wasn't looking for this. It just kind of popped up. I found it interesting. For the first time, the Pentagon has bought a fleet of small AI-powered suicide drones designed for indoor use from an Israeli drone maker who supplied them to the IDF where they were used. I'm not going to read the rest of that. I can't verify that. The Israeli weapons maker is called Extend, and the drone is called the Scorpio 500. Production on these AI-powered drones began in the U.S. at some point in the first 3 months of this year. First 3 months of this year. AI-powered drones. I talked about if they build robots or whatever, we already have drones. If they build robots, they wouldn't need an individual brain for each robot. Not even necessary. AI is the brain. That's what I told you. The brain could be broadcast. So no wonder Leon's putting 1,000 satellites up a year. We can't have the internet go down, or we can't have the Wi-Fi or whatever you want to call it connection to these things go down. We need coverage like we've never had before. So that's probably why we're getting satellites all over the place, because it could broadcast the AI if it has to. Towers could broadcast the AI. They could have special towers that broadcast their specific AI. Maybe that's what the infrastructure's for, so it doesn't have to go through any regular like internet. It would have its own kind of internet, own infrastructure, wouldn't have to share, would always be monitored, always kept going, no signal issues ever. So then you can deploy things like these AI drones. In other words, again, the AI is the brain in one central location, broadcast out or programmed out into everything else.
It's pretty incredible, actually. Unfortunately, it's going to be used on all of us because they're going to have trouble getting humans to do the work like you see in all the movies. But they're going to have a new tool where one small group of people could deploy these things all over the place and they could find you. And again, remember the story. The false prophet wants an image to the beast made, and you must worship that image, and that image will have life, and that image will have the ability to kill you if you don't worship it. That could go a lot of different ways. But here's one way it could go. Just a guess. A small group of people like Leon and Donnie and Hegseth and those people. They wouldn't need to send soldiers out to do some dirty work that they need done, even on a large scale where they need to, get rid of 50, 100 people. That AI drone can do all that. And it doesn't matter if you have an AR-15. Nothing matters. You won't see it coming. It'll just fly in unless you got radar or something. And you're done. And now these drones, they can like loiter in places and just wait. AI powered again. No brain required. Just build the machine. Drones are very simple to build now. Ukraine's building them left and right. It's one of their greatest weapons. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? You don't need men and women anymore. America could manufacture millions of these things. They could send 100 of them at a time. What are you going to do? To anyone's house. Indoor drones, do you hear me? Pentagon buying a shit ton of them, making them, excuse me. Just started this year. Again, you've got utter douchebaggery, Satanist Nazis that no one of any kind of decency would ever want around. So everyone despises them except the sociopaths, about 35% of this country. It's going to be hard getting men and women to do that work for them. Even though, again, I have to ask the question, people, who do you know that'll give up their paycheck and freedom? Because disobeying an order in the military is very serious, whether it's unlawful or not. If your commanding officer wants to fucking throw you in the brig for it, you're in the brig, whether it's unlawful or not. Because you're going to need a higher authority to take your side and say, yes, that was an unlawful order. We're going to discipline your superior officer. They're going to get rid of all those kind of people. They already have, pretty much. That's why sycophants come in handy. So when the whole chain of command gives an illegal order, who's going to take your side when you refuse it? You go into the brig, son, and you lose in your paycheck, and your girlfriend back home or your wife starves, and your baby starves. So who's going to risk all that for you? Nobody. Very few soldiers would lay the gun down and say, I'm not doing this. Lose their freedom, get possibly a prison sentence in federal or military prison, whatever that, I can't even forget what that's called even. Who's going to do that for you? I don't know. When I look at history and I look at my own experience, most humans I've been around, worked with, like that, they would stab their grandma for $3. They wouldn't give up their paycheck for me. What do I mean by that? They ask the military to police us. How many of them are going to say no? Not many. So I don't even see it as a problem, really, but there are some, since these people are so hated, and it's obvious that they're evil. They don't even need them. They got these drones now. Again, let's say a bunch of people get some guns up. Get a little posse, little resistance posse. Send 50 of these drones, you're all dead. Send 30 of them, you're all dead. 20, 10. Over. That's where we're at. That's why revolution talk and all that, man. There was a time where that was possible. I used to get in debates with people about this. I would hear them talk, use the word revolution and stuff. Fight, take on the government as a citizenry, even with the AR-15s and the bullshit some of you have. That's a joke. Like Biden said, unless you got, you need an F-15, not an AR-15. You can't, in other words, we can't take on the government. The weapons are they're an order of magnitude greater than the populace has, even though we are armed. And they're coming for the guns anyway. I explained all that to you. That new law Miss Bondi and Donnie want in effect, that's so they can take anyone's guns. The second they arrest you, all they have to do is label you crazy, or someone has to make a call to try and get you committed. They take the guns when they arrest you. They don't wait. That's the plan. No courts. Go right around the courts. So any one of you rubes can get labeled that and your guns get taken away, and there ain't jack shit you can do about it. So Donnie coming for your guns. Some of you, we got these special drones, AI-powered suicide drones designed for indoor use. Yeah, again, a small group of people can deploy those. They don't even need the military. They don't have to take the steps of asking men and women to do the dirty work. Just send the drones. AI will do the rest. These two, Kosh and Sarah, this was a really cold-blooded joke, but if anyone deserves it, these two do, because my God, the scumbaggery these two represent. And one of them got to be governor, and now the other one's the head of the FBI. It went from podcaster to the head of the FBI. Wow. And she went from a disgraced, what's that called, White House spokesman, an utter liar who was caught lying many times, did whole articles about how she was caught lying, ends up being governor of a state. Whatever. You rubes really like getting conned and lied to, I see. And here's the joke. Not many people know Kosh and Sarah once dated. Sadly, they couldn't see eye to eye. I think you understand the joke if you want to take a look at the picture again. Horrifying, I know. And this Patel person, not a good portent. He'll do anything dear leader asks, and it's written all over his face, and he'll enjoy it too. But I'll enjoy seeing him get thrown in the lake. So that's how I look at all this. If you wonder how I'm able to be how I am, I'm already at the lake. That's how I'm able to be how I am. I'm looking at it how the spirits look at it. It's all one moment. We're already there. Mr. Patel's already dead. For all eternity. Because he was just a waste of oxygen from the second he came out of his mother's womb. Complete, total, utter waste of oxygen. Oh, God, a reporter exchange with Donnie in a big cabinet meeting. Can you talk about what type of security guarantees you're willing to make to Ukraine? Well, I'm not going to make security guarantees beyond very much. We're going to have Europe do that. In other words, Donnie's not promising a damn thing. That's good. So outright, first question, abject betrayal of Ukraine. It's incredible. So you're saying Ukraine fighting for its survival shouldn't count on U.S. support? Look, I like Ukraine. Great people. But Europe needs to step up. We've done enough. So Donnie says we ain't doing no more there again. Reporter, Ukraine has been devastated by war, millions displaced, thousands dead, and now you're telling them you're on your own? I'm telling them let Europe handle it. They're right there. They're close by. I mean, come on. Again, cunts that want to take this route. We made a deal with Ukraine. We asked them to get rid of their nuclear weapons. They obliged. We said, we got your back for security in case Russia fucks with you in the future. Look at us now. Look at Donnie. Fuck them. We got some of their mineral rights. Fuck them. Vlad's my ally anyway. I've been a Russian asset for like 40 years. Fuck Ukraine. That's basically what we're hearing here. Betrayal. Reneging on a deal. And Europe's right there. I mean, come on. Reporter, Europe is helping, the U.S. just leads because that's what global leadership is. Oh, wow, that's an interesting statement. Trump, we've spent a lot. I like saving money. America first. He likes saving money as people are paying him tribute, $1 million apiece, as he's looting the fuck out of our government treasury, everything. They're about to go to Fort Knox and steal the gold. They ain't saving a goddamn thing. This whole facade of we're saving money and stopping fraud and waste. You're looting the place. That's what they're doing, Rubes. They're looting your country. Every day, all day. It was never about saving money, and they ain't saving us jack shit. Doge is charging us like $7 million a fucking week. Idiots. But, you know, cheer it on as you're getting looted. Whatever. Reporter, so America first means letting an ally be blackmailed, bombed, and occupied? They need to negotiate. Be smart. Strong deals. Reporter, negotiate with an invader who wants them wiped off the map? Look, Zelensky is doing okay, but he needs to make a deal. Putin respects me. He knows I make deals. He makes it about him. Reporter, Ukraine doesn't need a deal. They need security. They need their country back. We'll see what happens. Maybe Europe helps. Maybe they don't. Not my problem. Actually, it is our problem. Again, our country asked Ukraine, can you get rid of your nukes, please? And they did that, and we said, okay, we got your back. When it comes to the orange-faced wonder, it's not my problem as people are dying, being raped, kidnapped. Anticristo. I'm certain of it. Reporter, so democracy, freedom, and stopping an authoritarian takeover, not your problem? Trump, America comes first. Ukraine, good luck. No. Donnie, Leon, and Vlad come first. This is not about America either. Fools. Let's not go there either. We're being looted again. None of this money is going to any of you. Again, look what the priorities were the first month. Tax cuts for the rich, cutting of all kind of aid programs, 800 million or billions going to be cut from like Medicaid. How many people are going to die from that? Again, the consequences of your choices, some of you are going to die. You're going to lose your Medicaid or your welfare or whatever. That's where all this is headed, son. Some of you are going to lose it in the very near future. And you're going to die. Again, this is life and death. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what this choice was. It wasn't a team sport. It wasn't you rooting on your football team. It's now the end of America. You're being looted. None of this, there's no America first here. All I see is more conspiracy with Vlad. That's all I see. And I see, you know, two grifters that are about to go to Fort Knox and steal all the gold. And just, you know, coincidentally, incidentally, Vlad just, you know, took about 100 tons of gold or whatever. He had to liquidate. And there's a funny plan. One of the people that were running in the Romanian election, I think it was Georgescu, promised some of the gold reserves of Romania to some outside entities, business entities. So when I read that story, I was like, oh, that's why Leon and Donnie are going down to Fort Knox as well. Someone else wants some of that gold. Whoever else is part of their little group, Vlad, some of Vlad's people. Because that was Vlad's plan in Romania. These are the types of promises that are made so that the Judas can be a better Judas. You know, they get an oligarch or two on board with it. Hey, don't worry. Once I get in, 20% of the Romanian gold reserves are yours. These are the types of promises that are being made. Leon and Donnie are going to Fort Knox. This is one of Vlad's plans. I now know in each country he takes over the gold reserves. He wants some or all of it. Leon and Donnie just happen to be going to Fort Knox soon, where the gold reserves are. Again, Vlad's plan in all these countries. I want some of the gold reserves or all of the gold reserves once you get in. That's part of the formula for each country he takes over. I know that now. And right when I learned that, and I learned that Russia spent 100 whatever tons of gold, whatever the number is, right after I learned all that, and right around the same time, two fat cunt grifters are going to Fort Knox. And they keep saying every day, or at least one of them does, the one with the shitty diaper, keeps saying, wouldn't it be funny if all the gold was missing? Just letting you know, they're going to go there and all the gold's gone, just like Alex Jones said, or the Hagman said all those years ago. Oh my God. So always remember that part of the formula of any Russian takeover, of any of Vlad's puppet candidates, the South Korean dictator, or excuse me, Vlad's South Korean puppet that they took out of power, the Georgescu, all these different countries where Vlad has infiltrated. This is the type of promise their candidate is giving out to people. And these are the types of expectations of the Russian-backed candidate. That some of them gold reserves are leaving the country. And again, I just want to remind you, Donnie and Leon are going to Fort Knox soon. Isn't that coincidental? I find it interesting. Okay, I read that already. Oh, new Homeland Security point man hosted a podcast that called for secession and martial law after Trump lost in 2020. The official Paul Ingracia also promoted a martial law option article to keep Trump in office, just like Roger Stone sent, that little email. Hey, this is how we can take the guns from the rubes and our enemies, people that aren't patriots. And here's the part, where we can get around the rubes getting mad about it. I read it to you several times the other day. To the fucking idiots who refused to vote for Kamala Harris because of Gaza, we told you what would happen, but you didn't listen. Trump actually posted this. This is a screenshot from the commercial. I'm going to show you a bunch of screenshots. We're going to have a little slideshow real quick, okay? Okay, class? Fuck you, Mr. Calabrese. Look, two little children running through the semi-cave tunnel into the beautiful, picturesque skyline that kind of looks like Atlantic City a little bit. All AI generated. This is how people spend their time. This is what Donnie's thinking about in the first month of his presidency. Instead of helping Americans, and he's looting the place, dismantling our country for our enemies and himself because he hates all of us. And he just wants to grift. He just wants as much money as his fat ass can fucking grab. He's thinking about a resort in Gaza, in a war-torn area, where one of the worst attacks on Israel, ever happened. And then you've got the plight of the Gazan people whose whole area is basically razed to the ground. But that was the plan that BB and Donnie had. Then they can come in like heroes, rebuild it all, say, we're going to bring jobs in. There's going to be little children running through into the sunlight in the beach where the resort is. No, those kids probably wouldn't be allowed to do that, actually. Again, they don't want the peasants around the tourists. And here's an AI-generated Leon scum. I knew it looked like Leon, but This dude, it's like a tan Leon scum, basically, with a little bit better genetics. AI generated, again, all of this. So they don't even have to spend money on actors and the whole thing. So this is the image they were trying to portray. BB and Donnie chilling on the deck chairs by the pool in the new Gaza resort. Leon, chilling, having some food at the new Gaza resort area. Can you believe these people? Do you believe me yet? Do I have any believers? First month, they putting out shit like this. This is what's on their minds, stuff like this. Not you. The only part you play in their mind is, how do we subjugate these fucking idiots further? To where they don't rise up with torches and pitchforks and ruin our whole shit. That's the only concern they have for you. They're showing you that as they fire all of you. There are also regular businesses that lost government contracts because they just got cut. So it's not just government workers that go to a government office. Those people have lost, entire businesses now. Farmers that had contracts with the government, USAID, shit like that. They don't have that contract no more. It's gone. Again, that's not a government employee. That's a contractor getting money from the government, a farmer, basically. And Leon, this is what they're thinking about. Leon chilling, eating some food in the new Gaza resort, the Holy Land. Or very close to it, however you want to look at it. This is what they're thinking about. So do you believe they're the Antichrist and the false prophet yet? Who else have you ever seen do shit like this? In such a sensitive area as Palestine and Israel is, everyone's, got an opinion on it. It's the Holy Land for a lot of religions. And this is what they're doing. Promoting themselves chilling at a resort. Basically on the Holy Land. I mean, all presidents have done shit like this, right? All American presidents. This ain't weird at all, right? Here's more. Here's 3 people, 2 children, and it looks like a woman or something. And they look like very peasanty. But here's the thing. That resort area, they ain't going to want the peasants there. Trust me, that's not what that resort is for. It's the same thing we do down in the Bahamas and everything. Most of the people that live on the island are like peasant level. And we throw high-end jewelry stores and a few casinos or whatever. So the cruise ships can stop there for all the white tourists that have money. It was when I went to Nassau many years ago on a cruise. Very poor people there, but when you get off the boat, there's a bunch of high-end jewelry stores and like it's a shopping mall. High-end. Meanwhile, you've got people, chilling on the beach that look like they make $3 a week. Same thing here, same mentality here. This isn't for the peasants, is what I'm saying. It's for tourists that have money. That's the goal of this. Not to have peasant children and peasant women running around, and the money falling from the sky on the general populace. That never happens. I guess this is Leon with money raining down. AI generated Leon, I think. It looks like him. Of course, looks better than Leon in real life. It's creepy how AI can do this, isn't it? It could take me, my image, anyone's image, and make a whole movie film like this. It's fucking creepy, man. I don't know about you. Before you had to get an actor or you had to get Leon himself and film this and have lighting, and someone had to drop the fucking money. Those are all jobs too that are gone, by the way, for production. with this AI shit. And a lot of other jobs are going to be gone too. That's another rude awakening for a lot of you. AI is taking a lot of your jobs in the very near future. And I know a lot of you think, oh, I'm too talented, blah, blah. No, you're not. No, you're not. None of you. Not one. Trump Gaza. There we go. There's the facade, and it reminds me of Taj Mahal. A little bit. Trump Gaza. Yes, this is the American president who's a month into his presidency who has not done jack fucking shit for any of us. In fact, hurt our country. All of our enemies hate us. I mean, excuse me, all of our allies hate us. We got 2 concentration camps. We got a brown shirt named Van Rensburg. We got black jackets. We got Leon. If you notice the hat and how the jacket looks, he's trying to look like a Nazi officer without a Gestapo officer uniform. That's what that black trench is, and the jeans and the hat. When you look, I saw him walking down a stairway, and I saw how the clothes laid and how the hat looked and everything. It reminded me of a German officer. He really wants to dress like overtly as a German officer. But he's taking it as far as he can without taking it too far. And Leon's been wearing a lot of black lately because he's obese, and it's custom tailored black clothing, I'm sure, to hide his stomach and all that. He needs that. But I noticed that the way the jacket's cut, it didn't occur to me at first. But I just saw him walking down a stairway from a distance. And I saw the way the uniform looked. I said, he's trying to look like a Nazi officer. That's literally what Leon's doing. And he's taking it as far as he can without being too overt yet. Even though he already did the Sieg Heil. And a lot of the footage of the Sieg Heil's disappearing. Hey, Trump Gaza, how's that protest vote working out for you guys? That spite vote. Again, a month in, this is what they're doing. What did you get so far? Nothing. You got looted. You got dismantled. The rich got tax cuts again, as if they needed them. And they're thinking about Trump Gaza. Again, shit like this would have started World War III before. Do you realize that? An American politician talking about removing the Palestinian people after their area got bombed into nothing, and putting up a resort and gold statues of themselves. Any prior time, if this wasn't the Antichrist and this wasn't supernatural, any other American politician or president tried to pull this bullshit, it'd be World War III, man. Why isn't it World War III right now? Did you notice that, how calm it is? This person, Leon and Donnie, or this duo, whatever you want to call it, and Netanyahu and Vlad, they're putting out material like this? And there's not people marching on the fucking streets? That's not logical. Most sensitive area on earth. It's not logical. BB and Donnie chilling at the Gaza resort in the commercial, and there ain't people marching on the streets? Any other person tried this, an American politician, American president, again, World War III, riots, Muslim leaders screaming their fucking heads off to anyone that'll listen. Why not now? More pictures. I'm just going to go through these pictures. All from the commercial, all AI generated. Got the whole beach covered in resort buildings, just like Atlantic City, just like a lot of Florida. Oh, and then there's the transgender belly dancers. I've been kind of intimating there's been a lot of bathhouse type individuals at the top of this movement, and I know that. I'm certain of that. And there's been a lot of myths or ideas put forth by people like Alex Jones, who literally get caught with transgender porn on their phone during a broadcast. There's been a lot of intimation or overt saying, the liberals are fucking freaks. Transgenders and this and that, and they're fucking freaks. What's up with this, son? What's up with this transgender stuff here on the Trump commercial? Yeah, I know a lot of you have been at the bathhouse. And here's my perspective on the world. You think the freaks is the liberals? You think they freaky over there? Oh, no, you don't know the GOP, son. Here's the GOP. They the real freaks. The right are the freaks. When they point to people, the machine, you're a pedophile. You're a pedophile. That's them projecting their pedophilia. I truly believe that. Based on what I've seen. This is the proof right here. They're putting it right in your face. In Rome, for elite men, it was customary to sleep with men and women. It was normal. It was expected. It was just what elite men did. It was part of that culture. Sleeping with men and women. Normal. Expected. If you didn't do it, they probably looked at you, oh, he's a little strange. As an elite male in Roman society. What do you think these people are? We're New Rome. Donnie is Caesar. He has a co-Caesar. Fail. All of them. What I'm trying to say again is, from my studies, the real frizzies are on the right, son. And I mean the real freaks. They ain't supposed to be into that. Why is that in Donnie's commercial? Because they are into that. That's why you catch Alex Jones with transgender porn on his phone. Whatever. I don't care what people are into. I'm just saying, don't present yourself as family values, Christian. We don't like gays. We don't like transgenders. We're actually going to go persecute them. We do it on a daily basis. I'm talking as the right-wing grift machine. And then we do this. My point is, the real freaks is on the right, man. Again, another 3-4 police officers and pastors I saw today got arrested for various sex crimes on minors. I don't report those to you every day because this shit's depressing enough, what I talk about. But I make a mental note of everyone I see. I see about 5, 6 a day. They all on the right, son. They ain't from the left. 5, 6 a day. And that's just the ones that get caught. And that make it into the press somehow. Because there are people that look at this every day. Because they're making the point. Look at who keeps getting caught. Despite the right always pointing the finger. Everyone's a pedophile. Everyone's into sex trafficking. Everyone's into the freaky shit. The more liberal shit, according to them. Lifestyles. Sexually. No, they into all that. And more. Much, much more. Much worse. Why do you think they've been pointing at everybody, calling everyone pedos for so long? That's them, son. That's why. They need to project their evil and crimes onto you. Donnie's a master at it. He's been doing it his whole life. Leon does it too. Straight up inversion of reality. That's what you hand of Satan people have been your entire existence. You have been inverting reality, acting like you are the moral, upright Christians when you are not, but the hand of Satan. That's all you've ever been, lest you turn away. These people are freaks. And again, if you think the freaks is the liberal, son, You ain't met the right yet. I've taken that deep dive look. I see who the pedos that get caught every day, 5, 6 a day. And then there's this. One more time. Let's take one more look. People just glossed right over this. A few people mentioned it. They noticed it too. They noticed it too. You know, there's a reason people like Alex get caught with transgender porn after they preach family values and hate for liberals and gays. You know, if you're doing this shit in the closet, why are you hating on gays out in public? That's the problem I have. Why the persecution on the gay community by guys like Fail? His ideology he's putting forth. Oh, because he's an elite gay, so he doesn't have to worry about the persecution. He'll be financing the persecution, so he'll be cool. Again, the real freaks is on the right, son. Any of these pictures you didn't see yet? Oh, the balloon. Let's look at the Trump Gaza facade one more time. Isn't that beautiful? Did you get your $5,000 check yet? Here's some of the, I probably have another picture that shows it better, but that's the balloon, the child in the commercial. I mean, can you believe someone made this? Can you believe this is our world right now? $20-foot statue of that fucking psycho, a giant balloon head child in gold. I've never seen someone that wanted to be worshipped so bad as Donnie and Leon. Again, they're the same entity. They're almost, I mean, they remind me so much of each other. Again, 3 little children's looking out into the beautiful scenery of the new Gaza resort. As if that beach would be for them. It wouldn't be. Here's another shot. I guess they're just showing you what regular Gaza could be like, the apartment part, little stores and stuff. I don't know. Oh, and then, of course, the Donnie statue, because we got to have that, right? That makes total logical sense, right, Rubes? Not supernatural at all. I know. Totally normal. Oh, here's another one of Leon. Look how happy he is. Leon enjoying the food in Gaza. Don, I mean, are they trying to telegraph that that's where they're going to rule from eventually? I kind of had a feeling that might happen. And here's a better shot of the kid with the balloon. That's normal, right, Rubes? Not creepy, not evil, not satanic at all. That's what you put your name on. Okay, we're done with all the pictures in Donnie's horrid, abominable abomination of a commercial. Trump Gaza. That's where we at in 2025 with our president 1 month in. Jack Posobiec at CPAC. I don't know much about Jack Posobiec. I just know he's part of the right-wing grift/terror machine, and he's one of the higher level ones, and he was all about Pizzagate. Anyone all about Pizzagate for any length of time, I discount. I don't take anything they say seriously. Because Pizzagate was a pure grift, all lies, absolutely none of it true. But people made a lot of money on it. So did Google, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. You all made shit ton of Vlad money letting people promote Pizzagate because that's what Vlad was paying you for. And Jack's a guy, I assume, who made a lot of money on Pizzagate too and probably had some nice financing from Russia or the RNC or whatever the fuck. He's at CPAC. He did go, he went somewhere overseas recently with Hegseth, our rapey ass, drunk ass, let's see, Secretary of Defense or something. He took this podcaster guy, Posobiec, with him. So Posobiec's at CPAC. Welcome to the end of democracy. We are here to overthrow it completely. We didn't get all the way there on January 6th, but we will endeavor to get rid of it. Trump's Republican Party openly wants to end democracy. We must stop them. Well, we've known that since 2015. None of the rubes cared, and they still don't care. That doesn't bother you, right? That your right-wing podcaster hero is basically giving the game away now that they've got the keys to the vault. I guess they feel kind of bold. Straight up saying we want to end democracy. We're overthrowing it. We tried to overthrow it on January 6th, but now we're really going to try and get rid of it. Well, they're doing a great job, rubes. In a little bit over a month. I mean, my God, the work they've done. I can't even keep up with it. Pat yourselves on the back. Okay, I already talked about that measles thing. Oh, this is Leon, who got to talk first, I believe, at the cabinet meeting. Why is a fat South African oligarch who's trying to dress like a Nazi officer? Why is his fat ass up there talking to our whole cabinet as the president's sitting there? As if he's our president. Fat apartheid emerald mine douchebag who lies every 3 seconds and endorses every Putin asset that's trying to take over a country. Why is he there? Why is he giving this speech? Wait till you hear what he says, and wait till... What have you done, rubes? We will make mistakes. We won't be perfect. Oh, we know, Leon. We've seen your track record, son. So, for example, with USAID, one of the things we accidentally canceled very briefly was Ebola prevention. Oh, no, they didn't cancel it very briefly. They just got rid of the funding. They fired people. So they didn't accidentally cancel anything. They just taken a hatchet to the whole federal government. Damn the consequences. And they don't give a fuck till a news story hits the presses. And one of the things that hit the presses that fat Leon's trying to get out ahead of, Botox face is trying to get out ahead of, is when there's an Ebola outbreak in Africa, America takes extreme measures. We deploy a team, our American agencies, CDC, whatever they are. Forget the names of all of them. We will deploy teams to the borders to make sure that shit doesn't cross the border. Doctors testing people that are crossing borders to make sure the outbreak of a fucking Ebola doesn't get too bad. But when you've got fat South African cunts and a bunch of cunt Hitler youth axing shit left and right, and they could care less because they just looting the place, and it's not about saving money, well, they axe things like the team that's going to go respond to Ebola. So now, thanks to Fat Leon and Fat Donnie and the Hitler youth and all you cunt rubes, we didn't get a chance to stop that outbreak. There was no team deployed. So who knows how far it spread? Who knows where it's at now? That's thanks to this dickhead. And that's thanks to you. Because he wants to loot our country. Is looting it. What do you mean wants to? Is. That's more important than the Ebola outbreak. And no, they didn't reinstate jack shit. They scrambled to rehire some people, and they probably haven't even been rehired. And it's too late. That's the thing about this Ebola shit. You got to be quick on this shit. You got to deploy a team when you're first notified. I've also heard they tried to get in contact with the White House for 2 days. They couldn't even get in contact with anyone. So they didn't accidentally do anything. So this is the repercussions of what the fuck you idiots have chosen, those of you that chose it. Again, one more time, let me describe it for you. Fat, worthless, waste of oxygen South African oligarch and his Hitler Youth cost us the chance for when we were immediately notified to have a team deployed to make sure that Ebola didn't cross borders. That's too late now. We can never go back and get that time back. Thanks to this fat fuck, and thanks to you. So if Ebola comes across the ocean to your family, well, you voted for it. And this fat fuck, he's trying to get out ahead of the story. He knows it's breaking. Because I read all about it today. What's really happening, and I'm going to read it to you too. Saying we accidentally canceled it. But we brought it back. No, you didn't bring shit back. And by canceling, these cunts looting our country, trying to steal every fucking cent they can, him and his fucking cunt Hitler Youth kids, there could be a major Ebola outbreak as a result of that. Their fucking greed. Again, Leon has so assured his place in the lake. One more time, the story mentions Leon and Donnie specifically as going in the lake. This fucking cunt, man, when I read about this, when I read the doctor break it down for me, the wrath you people will face. The wrath he's going to face. Indescribable. Be all comfy and cozy in your bed now, because it's not going to last much longer. You people that co-sign this. Indescribable, the wrath that comes down on you. And those two fat fucks. And the Hitler Youth. Wyoming H5N1 bird flu case uploads to GISAID. PB2 E627K mutation detected. Partial sequence from a Wyoming patient confirms H5N1 D1.1 genotype with PB2 E627K. It's a key adaptation for mammalian replication. Mammal to mammal, that's us. That's why this is important. And I've been watching them watch this. They're waiting for that mutation. They're seeing things they don't like. And I'm waiting for that moment when it becomes human to human. I have a feeling that's going to happen. Why? Because it's the apocalypse and a bunch of plagues are supposed to go with it. Donnie and Leon know that. Donnie Shitbag says he will impose 25% tariffs on imports from the EU. Here he goes. I love the countries of Europe. I'm from there at some point a long time ago, right? But indirectly, pretty directly too, I guess. The EU was formed to screw the United States. Donnie Shitbags, Antichrist, Antichristo. Okay, this is the real Ebola breakdown. We can't believe a fucking word Leon ever utters. He's trying to get out ahead of this, what I'm about to fucking read you. Because doctors is freaking the fuck out. Thanks, Rubes. On January 29, Uganda reported an Ebola outbreak. Normally, the U.S. would have very quickly sent one of our Ebola experts to help the response. Yeah, you want to be on top of Ebola. You don't want that getting out. That's some real apocalypse there. But this time we didn't. Gee, I wonder what was different this. Oh, that's right. 2 fat fucks and a Nazi regime and the Hitler Youth. That's the difference. And you fucking idiot rubes. That's the difference this time. But this time we didn't because we couldn't. Because this administration wouldn't let them go right when this outbreak was declared. And normally the U.S. would have helped set up border screening and other measures on the ground. But this time we didn't. Normally we would have spoke with the WHO about helping end the outbreak, but this time we didn't. Because CDC staff weren't even allowed to talk to them. Thanks, Rubes. That's you. That's what you've done. That's the consequences of your fucking choices. And again, it's not a fucking football game. And you're going to learn that the hardest way you've ever learned anything in your life. This the apocalypse. And it coming for you. Again, the wrath you people specifically that still have your name on this. That you will face. I would not want to be you. I've been told by a colleague that Uganda tried calling the White House to notify them of the outbreak for 2 days, but no one answered the phone. You know, because it was a big priority to fire everyone. Donnie and Leon have a grift, you know. They have some looting to do. 2 months ago, we had amazing experts working on global health security there. Now there appears to be no one to pick up a phone. Yeah, because they fired everyone. That's what Leon does. And then when the shit hits the fan, they're like, oh shit, we got to rehire a bunch of people back. Did it at Twitter too. Still got people at Twitter fighting for their severance. So all you people that take this little deal from the federal government, they're going to pay you for the next 9 months, whatever. I don't know about that. You're still got to fight for severance in court with Leon and Twitter. How many years ago was that? You're dealing with evil here. You're dealing with a scumbag whose whose girlfriends, who has his children, they have to contact him on Twitter for him to even speak to them because he's a fucking deadbeat. We can't trust him as far as we can kick his fat ass. You know who does Ebola prevention here in the U.S.? The CDC. Hundreds of these frontline experts lost their jobs last week as part of indiscriminate cost-saving firings. More cuts are expected. USAID has long supported Ebola response efforts overseas. Not no more. Well, it's gone. Again, USAID did a lot of things, baby. Some of you farmers, again, had contracts with them. Where are those contracts out now? I bet they gone, huh? You'd vote for it again, though. I know. I know. So it's not true to say one of the things we accidentally canceled very briefly was Ebola prevention and that it was quickly restored. Because you've hobbled or directly dismantled the response structures needed to end Ebola outbreaks abroad and protect us here in the U.S. Exactly! All because 2 fat, worthless, lazy, rich daddy's boy fucks are on the grift and want to be worshipped. Because, you know, Donnie was a sociopath and he might have been gay too. Or bisexual or something. And that made him very rageful. Especially disliked women as people. He loves raping them, though. Leon, too. I'm sure he's been in the bathhouse many a time with Pete. They seem close. They were both at PayPal together, too, you know. All for those people. That's why we didn't get a chance to stop that Ebola crossing the border. God knows where it is now. We don't know. They're not allowed to tell us either. So by firing all these people, they can say they've reinstituted the program or whatever. Well, there's no one to fucking handle the program. They fired everybody. Ebola we're talking about. You cunts. That made this happen. Measles outbreak. You got zombie deer fucking disease going around. And we're not going to be able to track any of it. Unless individuals like me or others go and look for articles every day. And, you know, no Ebola response team. We're just going to trust African countries to handle it. And you rubes will trust Donnie and Leon to handle it. Like true rubes. They ain't handling jack shit. In fact, Leon cutting the response team. So, too late. That moment of opportunity is gone. We can't send a team now and stop it in its tracks and help advise and make sure this don't come to America. Because you want to see a real nightmare? Let us have a real Ebola outbreak where people are just bleeding out in the fucking streets. You'd probably still vote for it after you watch people bleed out in the streets again, wouldn't you? Of course you would. You're stubborn. You think you're wise, or you're working at a troll farm or whatever. You think you understand what you're doing. You think you're a big boy or girl, and you're not, and you never were. Otherwise, you wouldn't put your name on this. You wouldn't risk what you shouldn't be risking. Because you hate. That's simple. And you're just like Donnie. I'd like to see you not be just like Donnie. And turn away. And again, I don't get shit out of that. You do. So, then the doctor says, make a huge mistake, then make a false claim about how you fixed it. And that's what Leon did. They did it for PEPFAR. Now Ebola, I follow this particular topic very closely. And the doctor just broke down what really happened. None of what Leon said was true. They didn't accidentally shut it down, and they didn't restore jack shit. The people are still fired. We lost that moment to ever handle this outbreak of Ebola in Congo. Thanks, Roops. Oh, here's Leon lying about the Romanian situation. They just arrested the person who won the most votes in the Romanian presidential election. This is messed up. No, they didn't actually arrest him. But he's an obvious Russian plant financed by Russia. And I hope Romania handles that directly and Leon can go fuck himself. Because if Leon wants someone in power, that tells me they beyond crooked and they're evil. That means I don't want them in power. I read that. LA County Public Health confirms measles case. So now there's measles in LA County. Getting worse. Texas measles outbreak. Covenant Children's Hospital has admitted at least 20 kids with severe measles complications, all struggling to breathe. Not a single hospitalized child was vaccinated. But remember, some vaccinated did get measles. And remember the measles vaccine, I believe the numbers I read you yesterday was about 97% effective if you get both, something like that, both vaccines. So you can still technically get measles, but your chances of getting it are greatly reduced according to the numbers that I'm seeing with the vaccines. Oh, Republican Congressman Joe Wilson has announced a proposal for a new $250 bill featuring President Donald Trump. Most valuable bill for the most valuable president, Wilson said. And the person that's commenting is saying it's a cult. Yes, indeed, it's a cult. A satanic cult. But most of you don't even know you're the hand of Satan. You wouldn't know that if it slapped you in the face. I know. So there's the 250 with Donnie. Are they going to put in Trump We Trust on there too? I noticed that part's not in the picture. Yeah, I don't see the In God We Trust part. They made sure not to show that part of the bill. I have a feeling it's going to say something like In Trump We Trust or something. You know, an abomination, blasphemy, replacing God's name with Donnie Shitbag's name. And I knew, here's Donnie admitting something I already knew. I knew when I heard about this guy, Kane, that they hired for to be the new Joint Chiefs of Staff. I knew why Donnie picked him. And Donnie's going to tell you right now. I'm going to read it for you. Trump on his new Joint Chiefs of Staff chairman, Raisin Kane. I liked him right from the beginning. As soon as I heard his name, I said, that's my guy. I knew too when I saw the guy's picture and I saw the nomination. I said, his name is, I forget his first name, something Kane. I said he picked him because his name is Cain. He's the Antichrist. Of course he loves the guy named Cain. Cain is the character who killed his brother in the Bible, by the way, in case you don't know that. First murder in history was Cain killing his brother. So this person is, and there's a, a nickname. His name is Raisin Kane. Like his first name, and then you say Raisin Kane. Very, very clever, right? So that's what they call the man. That's his nickname. So of course Donnie picked him just because of the name, and he just admitted it right there. I figured that. We just received an email at the Seattle VA. They are reducing the balance of all procurement cards to $1. That means we can't buy supplies for the hospital. We can't buy gas for shuttles or for the social workers to do home visits. We can't pay for beneficiary travel for veterans. We can't pay for lodging for transplant patients. This came from GSA, but it really came from Doge. Our facility got notice only today, even though the GSA memo is from 2/20. This will cripple patient care at the VA. Yeah, they just shut off the cards that the government is sponsoring so they can buy supplies and stuff. Therefore, it shuts down the whole operation. It's what a lot of you people tried to do to me. You always targeted the money, targeted my donors. The mob targeted the money, targeted my reputation, targeted my donors. Because you knew if you shut down the money, you shut down my operation. Back then. I don't need the money now, but. So, they just did it there too. Their cards that they use to buy the supplies to run the whole business, they just shut those down. There goes the whole operation. All that money right in Donnie's pocket or Leon's or who knows. Yeah, this is what should have happened. And this is what Jesus would do with your Messiah. Your orange Messiah. This is what Jesus would do to him. There would be no conversation. There'd be just Jesus whipping that fat orange fuck. And there'd be shit stains on the ground as his diaper leaked. That's what the Christian community should have did to this person. Metaphorically, of course. Instead, the Christian community is all about him. But again, the story says all will be deceived, even the elect. But again, the elect in that sentence, in that statement, in that proclamation, what John didn't know all those years ago is the elect should have been in quotes. Because they were never the elect. They were this. Yeah, that's how Jesus would have handled Donnie. Because Donnie's a lost cause, it's written. Here's Bobo lying. You know who Bobo is? If you don't know who Bobo is, you need to ask somebody. No tax on tips has passed the House. Promises made, promises kept. That's how MAGA works. Yeah, that wasn't in the bill. All the things Republicans are touting when they go back to their district and online, they plan the talking points. Luna put out the same talking points, except hers are much more detailed. She listed about 9 things that they've been lying about, and none of it's in the bill. I mean, not one of them. But she lists them all there because she knows the rubes will read her shitty post and believe it and not do any research. So she can get away with it. Just like Bobo can get away with this. No tax on tips has passed the House. No, that's not true. There was no tax on tips in the budget bill. There was tax cuts for the rich, though. They made sure that's in there. No one has to lie about that. But the tax on tips thing, they do have to lie about. And Bobo and Luna and a bunch of them got together, got their little talking points up, none of which are in the bill. And here's the community note. The recently passed House Republican budget blueprint does not explicitly contain the phrase no taxes on tips and doesn't mention tips at all. The current budget resolution serves as a framework outlining goals without detailing specific tax policy changes. Well, we know one change. That tax cut for the rich is going to keep going because that was a priority. Here's a poll, and it looks like YouGov, February 25th, 2025. And they asked, what department should be eliminated? Well, guess what department won? Got the most votes? Doge, 29%. Then you have HUD, 4%, NSF, 4%, USPS, 4%, DOE, 3%, NASA, 3%, HHS, 2%, VA, 1%, NPS, 1%. Yeah, we really need cuts at the VA, you fucking cunts, whoever voted for that. Well, we're getting them anyway, but we don't need them. So Doge won the poll of what we want to get rid of. I mean, hell, Doge is costing us like $8 million a week. Why not? I mean, if you want to we want to trim some fat, we want to get rid of some waste. Well, those wastes of oxygen Hitler Youth dudes, and I use the term dudes loosely, they're fucking waste. Their whole existence is a waste of oxygen, actually. They're wasting air. Again, Doge won overwhelmingly at 29% of all the agencies listed. Wow. That's some real hatred, man. Well done, Leon. Doge quietly deleted the 5 biggest spending cuts it celebrated last week. Yes, Doge ain't saving us jack shit. They've been lying about the numbers. They've been doubling, tripling some of the numbers. An $8 billion cut at ICE was actually for $8 million. Well, that's 8 to like the 10th power or something, isn't it? I don't even know what that ratio is. So yeah, that's a bit of a difference. 8 million in comparison to 8 billion, you know, big fucking difference. Of course, they tried to get away with that lie, but it was looked into and debunked. So they didn't save us 8 billion. Allegedly, they saved us 8 million, but that's only a week's work for Doge. They get like 8 million a week from the numbers I've seen, if not more. So that's no savings. $655 million cuts at U.S. aid were actually a single cut, erroneously counted 3 times. So we've got an 8 billion reduced to 8 million, so that was a lie. We've got 655 times 3, which is really just once, so that was an abject fucking lie. A $232 million cut at the Social Security Administration was actually for just 565,000. Another whopper. 3 fucking whoppers. The first one they did what? 8 million times 10 or whatever that 8 million times 100, whatever comes out to 8 billion. I don't even know. So, I mean, just fucking whopper of a lie. And now it's gone. They've just taken it off the website because it's so much of a lie. I don't even believe the 8 million. I know Doge cost us $8 million for that week. Tripling the 655 million is on the next line item. And then I don't even know what to call this. You go from 565 to 232 million. What ratio is that? 565,000. I mean, do you get the entities we're dealing with? This is a great illustration of Leon, Donnie, and the Hitler Youth. These are the level of lies they're willing to go with. Lies that are so far out of the ballpark of normalcy. Again, what ratio is 8 million to 8 billion? What ratio is 655 times 3 as opposed to just 655? What ratio is 565,000 to 232? I mean, just so over the fucking top lying. Not even close. To the point they got to take all the information down. They ain't saving us jack fucking shit. We're being looted, son. And Doge is costing us $8 million a week. They're looting us that way too, getting more of your money. Thanks, Roops. Trump on federal workers who haven't responded to Musk's email. Those million people that haven't responded, though, Elon, they are on the bubble. Maybe they're going to be gone. Don't even get me started on that. Trump administration asking Supreme Court to immediately block a lower court's midnight deadline to pay $2 billion in invoices for foreign aid work. In other words, there's foreign aid work that was already done, bills we need to pay, that we were already given the service or whatever. We owe that money. Donnie don't want to pay it. Donnie and Leon want to pocket it. Once again, even money that's already owed. And Donnie and Leon are famous for not paying their bills. And when a rich man doesn't pay their bills, no one calls them a deadbeat. Do you notice that? Reporter and Donnie again. Oh no, I already read that one. Doubled. I don't want to read it again. Okay, let's go to this. Backstory on VA's decision to cancel roughly 1,000 contracts worth $2 billion. Doge apparently made no effort to find out what they were for and didn't bother to find out their decision was putting out of business numerous service-disabled vet small businesses. Yeah, Donnie loves the veterans. Leon loves the veterans. I'm noticing a lot of you losing your jobs. I'm noticing the VA is losing all kind of money. And then we've got these contracts. A lot of veterans getting screwed here, huh? Wonder how many of you voted for it. We're hearing Trump and Musk plan to lay off half the Social Security workforce and shutter field offices across the country. This will mean the delay, disruption, and denial of benefits, a backdoor cut. What an insult to hardworking Americans who earn their benefits. Right. The programs can't run. They're not outright saying we're getting rid of Social Security. No, they just cut so many people so it won't work anymore. Just like they took that vets federally funded VA, they took their card money away. They just cut the cards off so now the operation can't continue. They're going to do this with a bunch of agencies. They cut 7,000 from the IRS. They're closing a lot of those field offices. Again, you're being dismantled and looted, son. That's what's happening. And now they're going to lay off Social Security workers. Trump on sending another email to federal workers. It's a good idea because those people are on the bubble. You've got a lot of people that have not responded, so we're trying to figure it out. Do they exist? Who are they? It's possible that a lot of those people will actually be fired. And if that happened, that's okay, because that's what we're trying to do. This country has gotten bloated and fat and disgusting. Again, Donnie, no one asked you what you look like, son. We're asking about memos to federal workers, and are you going to shit can them? And you know what? All you cunts, Donnie, Leon, all you cunts at the top, all you cunts that have your name on this, you got no problem saying, like, let's cut the fat. Who cares if those people get fired? Blah, blah, blah. Well, how about we fire you from whatever you do, which will probably happen anyway. Don't worry. Just wait. Based on Donnie's and Leon's looting and economic policies that you people are championing. Let's take all your money away and put you on the side of the road and see how long you last. Because that's what Donnie is doing to all these people as he talks about it as if it's nothing. Just to stuff his fat fucking face with the money. Leon too. There are no noble intentions here. You cunts know that, though. That's why you all go into the lake, yet you still cheer it on. We talk about COD and fraud and blah, blah. These are human beings being put under the blanket of waste. And a lot of people that thought they weren't waste because they voted MAGA found out, no, they waste too. You're all going to find that out. Again, this is nothing but an exercise in looting. That's all these motherfuckers are doing. There's no noble quest here. And you people all know that, though. And one more time, this country has gotten bloated and fat and disgusting. Boy, isn't it ironic hearing Donnie say that? He's the king of bloated, fat, and disgusting. He's so disgusting, he wears a diaper full of shit. A new memo indicates the Trump administration is getting ready to rev up layoffs because, they haven't fired enough people fast enough, as it directs federal agencies to develop large-scale reductions in force by mid-March. So more layoffs coming. And look who came in to save the day. Chief Justice John Roberts, Supreme Court, pauses order for Trump administration to pay that foreign aid money by midnight tonight. Isn't that nice that Donnie's got his own Supreme Court he can always turn to get out of paying that $2 billion? Now Donnie and Leon can just pocket that shit. They don't got to pay for the work that these foreign countries or foreign entities did. Fat ass Leon and fat ass Donnie, more money on their pile of treasure. That's what's important, right, people? Right, Rubes? Of course it is. So, Donnie's Supreme Court came in to save the day. Again, one more time, we have an account, and I'll show you it. The same account at the top and the bottom. And this is a before and after. Let's check it out. November 4th, 2024, Rodney says, let's take out the trash together and vote Trump for 2024. Yay! Let's do it, guys. Let's usher in the apocalypse. Let's own the libs. Let's make sure the Buffalo Bills win. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter they're about to dismantle and loot our country and they told us in advance. Doesn't matter we're about to be tariffed out the ass again and farmers are going to be committing suicide and losing their farms and businesses are going to shutter and the whole, just so Donnie can line his fucking pockets again. Let's see what happened since November. I'm sure it's going great for this person. Rodney is their name. Thanks to Elon Musk, I am now out of work. I have had a tough time finding a job these past few years. I worked for a company for almost 6 years and was let go when they decided to reorganize their company after another company bought them out. I was unemployed between, and the story goes on, but Rodney was all about it back in November. Now he's out of work. So many of you, again, if you just would have voted for the black lady, you'd still have your job, your career. That meant nothing to Donnie and Leon and all the people in his cabinet and all of your Republican congressmen and senators. Didn't mean a damn thing to any of them. Guess who it meant something to? The black lady and Joe Biden. Your job meant something to them, even though you're a worthless cunt rube who hates their guts and shills for con men for free. and shills for evil for free, and shills for Satan for fucking free. One more time, the black lady and Joe Biden cared about your fucking job, and you would have still had it. All you probationary employees that just got promoted and put back on probation in the federal workforce, the black lady cared about your job. Joe Biden cared about your job. The sociopaths you care about and endorse, they never cared about you or your job for one goddamn second. They're showing you that now, son, aren't they? I've already seen about 100 of these comments, and these are just the people that are ballsy enough to admit they're fucking morons online. Because they want people to rally around them. That's why they're doing it. Not because they have a change of heart. Not a one of them. I haven't seen one that's had a real change of heart. They just want people to rally around their misery because they made a fucked up choice, and that choice came around and bit them in the fucking ass. And they made that choice based on evil. The evil within them. And that's why their fucking job is gone now. I told you it's going to come to all of your doorsteps. Every single cultist. So here's another cultist who was all about it in November and probably for the past 8 years. And now they're out of work because of what they love so much. On the HHS leadership call today, one employee from CMS, Center for Medicare/Medicaid Service, and 2 employees from SSA, Social Security, have died by suicide after their firing. Again, people lose career, people lose their job. We all know how hard it is to find any job that's worth a damn in this shithole country. It's hard, man. It could take years to go from an actual career job that paid you a decent salary, you had your vacation time, you put your time in, you got a nice little life going for yourself, to find that again in this shithole country. Very difficult, especially when there's a mass firing or mass layoffs. Now you got millions more people competing for jobs, desperate. It affects the whole economy. And Fat Donnie and Fat Leon, they could fucking care less. They just grifting here. They just looting here. They don't care about what you all have to go through finding that new job, trying to pull the pieces of your life back to fucking together when 2 fat con men destined for the fucking lake stole it all away from you because you asked them to. You heard them tell you they were going to beforehand, and you voted for it. 2 suicides. I don't know if they voted for it. They ain't here to tell us, are they? Thanks to Donnie and Leon and the Hitler Youth, they all think it's a big funny game. Life and death, people. That's what I've been trying to say for 8 years as well. When I talked about farmers committing suicide, how many of those same farmers or their family, well, not the same farmers, but how many of their family or acquaintances saw that, know they committed suicide and why, and voted for it? Again, I bet a lot of you did that. These are the repercussions for all of your choices. We're all adults here. The choices have, especially in politics, we all think it's a fucking game, or at least one side does. When you choose a leader for a country, man, that's life and fucking death. It's not meaningless culture war. It's not the Buffalo Bills. But it's too late for this lecture, isn't it? Because idiots have chosen the apocalypse. And it's got to play out now. There's no stopping it. It's not going to happen. I wish there was. If there was any way truly to stop it, I would tell you. Here's one way, but it'll never happen. So just discard it. Every person that makes under $100,000 stops going to work, just stands there, just sits at home meditating, have a nice meal, doesn't go to work for 1 week. bring this whole bitch to a grinding fucking halt. This whole shithole fucking planet. It will never happen. Way too many turncoats and sociopaths. Way too many people not willing to risk a fingernail. We could have done that at any time as a populace. Just said, you know what? We're bringing this whole thing to a halt. Sorry, elites, you're not getting your money this week. You know, they'd only lose a few $1 trillion in like a week. That would stop it, but that's not going to happen. The military just arresting these people, that'd stop it, but that's not going to happen. Impeachment or something like that, that's not going to happen. No military is going to come beat our military. That's not going to happen. So there's no stopping it. I'm sorry. If there was an actual legit way, I'd tell you. But there's not. That's not how humanity works. Never would the whole planet just stop working. Everyone that makes under 100. There's always some desperate ass that would fill that void. Even if the whole planet decided to do it. But boy, would you see the weeping and gnashing of teeth by the rich, by Bezos, Zuckerberg, all those people. Yeah, no using social media for that week either. Got to hit those cunts too. This is a result of your choices. 2 suicides, and I'm sure that's the tip of the iceberg as far as suicide numbers after this shit show we're all witnessing. Not everyone's as strong as I am mentally, I know that. I imagine this is quite horrifying and frightening for so many people because they don't have the full understanding I have, and it's not their fault. They have a different attitude too towards life. So I understand why people are doing things like this. And it's also 2 fat fucks that worship Satan can steal all the money on the planet. That's it. And so Fat Donnie can be worshipped. That's it. Musk's ex-Twitter workers win severance over fork in the road email. Ex-employees prevail in challenges to fork in the road email. So my point with this story is, even to this moment, even though it was years ago when Leon just fired every fucking body to the point he had to hire some of them back, even now to this day, still some Twitter employees, a lot of them haven't gotten their severance. Yet you're going to trust this fat cunt and you're going to take that resignation deal and hope they actually pay you. I don't know, man. This feels like it's leading to a place where they're trying to get people out on the streets, and when they make the real cuts to Social Security and all that, Medicaid, Medicare, food stamps, as that shit starts to disappear more and more, you're going to see people out on the streets, and that's probably what they're hoping for, so they can, you know, crack down and really get this Reich going. That's what I expect. So always remember, years later, Twitter employees still fighting for their severance. And always remember, or look at it this way, have we ever seen any U.S. president, his first month in, put a commercial up for the Holy Land, where he's going to build some resort casinos, where him, the leader of Israel, and the richest man in the world will lounge at and have food. Notice Leon was like by himself in both pictures, but Donnie was with Bibi, and Donnie was dancing with a woman as well in one of the shots. I didn't show you that shot, but it's in the commercial. An AI generated fat Donnie dancing with the woman on the kind of nightclub floor. The guy's like 80 fucking years old. He ain't dancing with nobody. But the image of it was horrifying. And the dull gold, evil, the lighting, everything. I just felt the evil all over it. It was replete with it. So one more time, the President of the United States, the first month in, says he wants to remove the Palestinians, put a resort up. Then we get a commercial by the end of the month where him, the richest man in the world, and the leader of Israel are lounging in Gaza, having food, dancing at nightclubs, golden statues of our president, golden trinket statues sold on shelves, golden balloon heads of him that little children are carrying, money falling from the sky down on Leon and down on little children, children running down the Gaza beach. I'm sorry, it's so far past normal if you can't see what's going on here. That the story's true. It's so far past normal. I still can't believe I saw it. That commercial today for Trump Gaza. Kind of proves everything I've been saying for a while, that this is going to worship, that he is who he is and Leon is who he is. They were both in the commercial, son. I'm certain they are who they are. I was really hoping I was wrong. Again, remember, I am 100% certain now. And I don't know, I mean, what do you people need to see? Is that if that isn't the weirdest fucking thing, the most obvious thing for if he was the person I'm saying he is, of course he would do that commercial 1 month in. All AI creepily generated, by the way. All I can say is this. You need to turn away from this. And if that commercial you saw today don't tell you need to turn away, I don't know what will. Maybe another, I don't know, 100,000 suicides from people that lost their jobs. Maybe that'll do it. Maybe when Ebola comes to the United States shores, because Fat Donnie and Fat Leon just axed everybody. Maybe you'll believe then. Maybe when Chernobyl actually starts leaking, because I'm wondering about that hole in that dome. Is that dome going to stay up? Is it going to fall? Is radiation going to start leaking out of that thing? Is radiation leaking out right now? Ukraine's under siege every 2 seconds. How would they know? They can't peacefully monitor Chernobyl. You got missiles and drones raining down on their heads. Who knows what that thing's doing right now? Who knows what that thing's gonna do? Maybe that whole dome will collapse. Maybe it was weakened sufficiently. That could happen tomorrow, next week. Vlad already put a hole in it. Anyway, if that commercial today don't convince you, I don't know what will. Until the next episode of The Apocalypse, have a wonderful day.